Welcome back to the channel. The session is about the control so that we learn exactly how it works and how we save ourselves from its manipulation and how we remain on the right side so that we do exactly the critical thinking and make an opportunity of the crisis they made. In this session, I am telling you exactly that the two forces in which we call one is the elite class or the 1% which remain at the top, and the other is the rest of the humanity, the rest of the globe which remain at the bottom. And they use the third element, that is military police state, which remain in the mid of these two. And the job of that military police state is to impose the will of 1% on the rest of the globe. And the second job of that military police state is to uh, protect the 1%, uh, the 1% from the rest who challenge the 1%. So in this session, I'm going you how it exactly work and how they dictate the rest of the humanity. Here, the forces which they now introduce for the surveillance, and that is the main part of the military police state, that is actually they call it by the name of technocracy. And they make the models in different countries, and whenever they reach to the fact that now it's work very well and they remove the flaws from those model, they implement it on the rest of the humanity. One example I am telling you, that is about the China now have the model of social credit scores, that each and everyone who comply, who are obedient toward the state, and who follow, they give them the credit scores, the social credit scores. If they exactly reach the social credit scores which they desire or which they want, they facilitate and they bring them those on the billboards, on the media, that these are the people who are not according to the wishes, who are not following the state. They remain on the billboard and they can't achieve those who are obedient toward the state. So that is the model of the social credit scores, and they use it now in toward most of the countries so that rest of the globe remain obedient toward the elites, toward the 1%. And the other model they use in China also, that are almost more than 600 million cameras which are AI connected, and which have each and every information, and which record all the digital footprints, all the activities, and they again use it for the surveillance, they again use it for the control. And that is the steps they are going forward, they're looking forward, they're connecting forward it to the UBI, the universal basic income, so that the rest have a basic income, and they are the obedient, and they follow the rules which may be totally designed for empowering of the 1%. They use mostly two strategies, in which one is known as the problem reaction solution, and that problem reaction solution uh, is again those problem which they want to believe. So in that case, the reaction always be the fear, and the fear is actually the currency of control. Control is actually comes from the fear, so they create fear so that the public demand for something to be done, or at least an acceptance come from the public that things must be changed. So the public thinking that it is actually according to the desire, to the wishes of them, but actually it is the imposed will. But no one is critically thinking, no one is connecting the dots, how it's work. They only become the followers. So my purpose is to exactly do your critical thinking, to know what is going behind the scenes, and in the last they give the solution which they already developed in the shadows. Because here is one rule: knowing the outcome and you see the journey. So they see the journey in a very well and accurate way, and they decide the dots, but the pupil seems it to be the random. And that is the reason of the fear, that our higher consciousness, our higher intelligence, which comes from the prefrontal cortex, remain in the shutdown process, and we can't think and we can't plan, and they exactly knowing it, and they work toward it. And here in the shadow, they decide the foot, they decide the footprints, they decide the steps. And the other strategy is the no problem solution. Here again, only change is that in reality we have no problem, we have only perception of the problem, and that is very very dangerous. That exactly you can't find the problem, but the perception is the only tool through which they control us, to which they control the humanity. And then again, they have the power to bring the solution through using reaction of fear. And they always tell us through the mainstream media that it's random. But if we connect the dot, and if we do our critical thinking, we exactly know that it's the pattern. Without pattern, it's impossible that you reach to the goals, to the common goals which they planned. So they do their homework very well, and they know the journey, and it's all done in on the basis of infinite game. In infinite game, there is no time limits, that let do it fast, let do it within a few weeks, within a few months. The reason behind it, that they know that the audience which remain out of the game, if they looking it, and they knowing it that it's a pattern, and then they make a noise. That's what's going on, what's going on. But exactly they do it over the decades, they doing it over the centuries, and now they reach at the stage that they can control the whole globe. And again, we are not knowing it. They do it in the shadow through their intellectual property, through their entire resources. So the purpose is that only those which we can see, which we can hear, are not the reality. Maybe it is the matrix. we must have to know about it, we have to work about it, and we have to see the past. The more we look in the past, the more we see in the future. But we are not doing our work, and they are doing exactly their work, and now the one person control the entire humanity. And that is the reason behind this session, that knowing about it, that know exactly how it's work, so that we empower ourselves, we improve ourselves.